What's up? Welcome into your daily Buckeye Blitz for a Friday, December 30th, 2022. I'm your host, Joe from the Buckeye Cast, bringing it to you every day. We are welcoming in another special guest. Yesterday was Hall of Famer Mike Doss. Hope everybody saw that. And today we're bringing in Buckeye Frank. If you know him, you should know on Twitter. No, I'm on Twitter, on YouTube. He has the best hype videos. Frank, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good, Joe. How about you?
Good, good. Thanks for joining the show. And we're going to go a little longer today, folks, because Frank and I have a lot to talk about.
Definitely. I didn't know I was following up Mike Doss, though.
Yeah.
Mike Doss, the Buckeye Frank. It's like, okay.
Hey, maybe tomorrow we'll get Gene Smith. Who knows?
Hey, there you go. Dang, good for you, man. Get Mike Doss. That's really cool.
It was a great interview. Yeah, he's the honorary captain for Ohio State at the Peach Bowl, and I've been working with their PR agency that represents the Peach Bowl guys. We interviewed their president and CEO about a month ago, and then
that's cool.
They hooked us up with Doss yesterday. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I guess so. Frank and I are just going to go back and forth. We'll try and keep this under 20 minutes, hopefully. But if we're flowing pretty well, we'll just let it ride. Frank, my first topic for you is off, not on the game at all. It's actually something that you and I and many other Buckeye fans that are watching deal with on a daily basis, it seems, and that is negative Buckeye Nation, the sky is falling crew, as you might see them a lot on Twitter. They're probably a small minority of Buckeye fans, and I'm not sure they're really fans. I use that in quotes, but you know what I'm talking about. The people that say they're Buckeye fans, but they want to point out every negative thing that happens in the program.
Right.
You know, we lose out on a recruit or a recruit flips. People freak out. Sky is freaking falling. You know, what is your feeling on those people, and are they as vocal as I see it, or how do you see it?
Yeah, I think they're in the minority, but they're a loud minority, and yeah, it's and I'm afraid like they're going to scare off a recruit, you know, and I don't know if it's a defense mechanism or what in case we lose, that way they're set. But I think a lot of it is honestly, like the overreaction, a little bit of stupidity.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's disappointing to see some of that. And, hear that people private message players,
right,
and their families, and
right,
even their families have to speak out, and people just have to have a little more compassion and understand these are human beings. They're not just some machine that plays football and
right.
you can throw away when you're done, and that's how a lot of people treat it, unfortunately. And but
Yeah, I hate it when I see like Travion has to go to Twitter to defend himself to some troll, and
right,
say,
yeah,
I've had a broken bone in my foot, ligament damage, things like that. And like you said, tweeting it at players and their families. I mean, I've seen people tweet at recruits that are, high school kids. That's just
right,
idiotic,
yeah, right,
I mean, are you really a Buckeye fan? That's why I question their fanhood, because
yeah.
you're actually hurting the program. Besides making us all look bad, you're actually having a negative effect on recruiting, like you mentioned.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just want to get
So
your take as how you see those people. And unfortunately, that's one of the negatives of social media, that everybody has a voice, right? Some people shouldn't have one.
yeah, I avoid comment sections if we lose. I try to, because it's just bad. I mean, it'll put you in a bad mood.
I know.
Seeing all that. So.
I've seen the Michigan people take another run at you this week on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Commenting on your hype video from the Michigan game. I mean, that was how long ago, guys?
You're right. Yeah. Yeah, I understand, they got us 2 years in a row, but, yeah, some of them take it overboard sometimes, and,
Right.
um, uh, yeah. Yeah, my videos, I tag, like, every school in the country almost, but it brings in traffic,
Yeah.
but it also brings in a lot of nasty comments too, so, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's when you got to turn off the notifications, right? Don't look at those mentions.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
I've had to block a couple people, I'm not gonna say any names, but there's one guy, it's just everything. He
Yeah.
tries to find the negative in everything and
Mhm. Exactly.
just
Yeah.
yeah.
I think on signing day last Wednesday, I've filtered out quite a few Buckeye fans that were just so negative, and I unfollowed them. So I follow everybody back that follows me on Twitter, and these guys are just nonstop naysayers. Everything sucks about, and they're supposed to be Buckeye fans. I'm like, I'm gonna mute you and unfollow you now.
Yeah,
I've had to leave some of those Twitter communities and private message groups and stuff because it's just a bunch of negativity just piled on top of each other, man. It's
yeah,
nonstop.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Anyways, we won't give them too much of a voice here.
yeah.
Uh, you have a topic you want to hit on first before we get into the game, or how do you want to work?
Um, yeah, like I was saying, Jeff Snook, the insider with the hidden camera and, the Mercedes-Benz, the Kirby Smart apparently, put it in there, but he couldn't confirm or deny it. So, but apparently, when he was a coordinator at Bama, he was asking Big Ten coaches, how do I beat Ohio State, or how do we beat Ohio State? And so I don't know how much truth is to that, but like Brent
Yeah.
Venables, he would sign steal and stuff, and
Right.
that's why they went tempo when we played them in 2020, because
Yeah.
yeah, um,
Yeah, they had a great plan for that against Clemson in 2019 and 2020, honestly.
yeah,
2019, obviously, we had to fight the refs and Clemson at the same time.
yeah,
So it didn't work out well, but everything went wrong for us that day. But the first couple of drives, we moved the ball really easily on Clemson because of the tempo and obviously changing signs or not having any signs. I'm not sure which it was, but yeah. So if they're planting cameras in the stadium, that's some like New England Patriots kind of shit, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Again, I don't know how much truth there is to that, but yeah, it's that's an
Yeah,
interesting one right there.
right. Yeah. So let's get into the game. Um, so injuries right off the bat. Mayan did practice today. Matt Jones has practiced all week, but he has a heavily taped right ankle, probably been a high ankle sprain that he's had all year. Then he got it re-injured, I think, in the Maryland game when they had to take him off. Um, so let's assume those guys are back and starting. Um, Georgia, though, Lad McConkey, the receiver, he has been dealing with a knee injury all year. I've
Oh,
heard
really?
Yeah, I've heard mixed reports about him practicing this week. He might have been back at practice today. I don't know, but I've heard that he hasn't practiced much in the last month since they finished their season. And then their right tackle, McClendon, he's also dealing with an injury, so not sure 100% on their status right now.
Is that their offensive tackle you're talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah, the
Offensive
right
tackle.
tackle. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad we got Mayan back because he's he's got a lot of intensity, and um Jones too. Really need him. He's um and then sounds like what's his name? The defensive tackle. I can't think of his name. Um
for Georgia.
no, for Ohio State. I can't think of his freaking name.
Mike Hall.
Yeah, yeah, he's supposed to be back.
Right.
He said he's 100%, so I'm excited about that too, because he brings a lot of intensity as well, and
Yeah.
I think that'll help the team seeing that type of intensity and
Right.
but
Yeah, definitely. You need everybody at tip top shape for this game. I mean, no question about it. But if Mayan does go down, I mean, Jesus, I can't imagine playing a game against Georgia without Travion and Mayan. You talk
right,
about trouble, dude. Down Hayden's good, yeah, but I don't know about against a Georgia team with
yeah,
that front four that's pretty nasty. Um, and then Chip Trainum looked fine against Michigan, had some good carries, but um, dude, that's our third and fourth option at running back, not options one A, one B. You know,
yeah, yeah. I don't know why we didn't play Dallin against Michigan. Um,
yeah.
yeah, that boggles my mind. I don't know why, but yeah, he did well. Was it Maryland? He played
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
some. Yeah, he had a good game there, and yeah, so. But yeah, as for there's been word that he fumbles or he might fumble, and the coaches don't trust him, and
Yeah.
um, but yeah, the to have just those guys in the game as big as this, that would
Mm-hmm.
be concerning,
Yeah.
because we'll need that. Um, we'll need that run game a little, and uh, if not, I don't know. Stroud might need to run.
Seriously.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen, but
I wish it would. I wish it would. Yeah, I don't know. Dallin must be like a fumbling machine in practice. I've never seen him
yeah,
fumble in a game, I don't think. If he did, maybe he recovered it, but I know he's never lost one in a game. So I don't know. Yeah, but they do always talk about Dallin's ball security. So
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
But so yeah, you want to talk Buckeye offense, Buckeye defense? How do you want to turn this one?
I guess the defense, since that was the biggest issue coming out of the Michigan game, and the offense too in the second half. But as for the defense, I watched some of the film breakdowns, and it was mostly just players not executing. Players going in the wrong gaps. So I saw those massive holes. I know Tommy Eichenberg, he went in the wrong gap there on one of the big touchdowns. And then the two players that missed the tackle, there was three times he almost got him by the ankles. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, Jim Knowles' rule is 5 big plays or less, which I think is a good philosophy. But they can't go for touchdowns.
Exactly.
So, you can allow those big plays, but they can't go that far. I mean, because we can, maybe some bend but don't break. And I
Right.
think, yeah, that's fine to continue that philosophy going into this game. And I was happy to hear they worked on fundamentals first and foremost in their practices for the whole weekend. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good thing because that was the issue for the most part. And
Yeah.
then the failed fake punt. Did you see a film breakdown of that?
I just saw the clip where the center missed the signal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, that would have
Yeah.
worked too because Mitch Rossi would have had a huge hole there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Stroud was telling him, "Hey, I want to stay on the field."
Mhm.
Should have left it that way, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to be of the opinion that, yeah, a fake punt will catch him by surprise, but if it's fourth and less than 5, I don't know. I think I'd rather run my offense out there,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
line up, even if you're going to throw the ball. you got to have a pass play that's guaranteed, like a slant to Marv, or something like that, a crossing route, whatever it might be over the middle. You have to have something in your arsenal that is a guaranteed 5 yard, at least 5 yard play, And I'd rather run that than put my fate in the hands of a punter who never throws the ball and a bunch of blockers. Even though it's Mitch Rossi, I mean, he doesn't catch a lot of balls, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And
just
that was
my thought.
amazing. The punter was able to get that out of there. Thank God, because that
Yeah,
would have been a block punt right there. And
yeah,
but
yeah. So,
disappointing.
this Buckeye defense taking on Georgia, I think. Well, first of all, Georgia has not played a defense like Ohio State. This is going to be the best defense they played all year. I know they play in
Really.
the SEC and all that crap, but they've played some mediocre defenses. I think they've only played one that's ranked in the top 15, top 10. I'd have to go back and check the stats exactly. We've played like 5. So
Right. Yeah.
huge difference. And I'm not sure. I know that, Georgia's offense is based around the tight ends, and they like to get the running game going. And running back McIntosh has been doing really well towards the end of the year. But I think they definitely haven't seen a front four, a D line like Ohio State's. What do you think?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't think to look up the defensive rankings for their opponents, but yeah, where are we at right now? 11 in total defense or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's that, and then Georgia's like 9 in total defense, but their run D is number 1, I think, or that
Yeah,
might be Michigan's. But yeah, they're yeah, it's like I said, it's good to have my call back on that defensive line, and um, we're we're really gonna have to. I hope JT and Zach Harrison can get after Stetson Bennett.
mm-hmm.
Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Um, but yeah, I think our defense played, for the most part, great. I think it was they held 9 teams at 21 points or less.
mm-hmm.
Um, the defense didn't give up a touchdown in the Iowa game. That was actually Stroud that fumbled, and they picked
Right,
it up. I forgot about that. So they didn't give up honestly any points in the Iowa game. So,
right.
but yeah, I think we're gonna see people are gonna be impressed with our defense compared to what they saw last time. So, um,
Yeah. Yeah, in the Michigan game, it took, like you talked about, the 5 big plays. It took that lack of execution, guys missing tackles. That first one in the first half where Cam Brown missed a tackle, bad angle, bad effort.
yeah,
Safeties getting burned over the top from peeking in the backfield. Cam Martinez got toasted on one guy that rarely plays. You know, so yeah, it's you that was like, to me, that was an anomaly. That's not, you can't expect that as an offense to hit 5 plays of what, like 50 plus yards for touchdowns.
yeah,
You just can't bank on that, man. That's not a way to live.
yeah,
They just worked out well for Michigan. So that's where I'm saying this Georgia offense is not going to bank on those big plays. They shouldn't. They can hope in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up faster. So I would be shocked if we give up a big 50 plus yard play again.
yeah, yeah. I don't see that happening. I hope not.
Yeah.
But their tight end, Washington, man, he is massive.
Yeah,
He's like a LeBron James, just
exactly.
big body, but he's fast and man. But I hope I hope our safeties or DBs can, you know,
Yeah.
take care of him. And I don't know.
Yeah. Buckeyes on the season are second in the country in covering running backs and tight ends. So
Oh, really?
Jim Knowles has a good plan there. It's just you got two of them this time.
Right.
Notre
Yeah.
Dame just had one guy. Most teams just have one guy, not a pair.
Yeah. Yeah. Which and they did a good job. I think what's his name for Notre Dame? He had one touchdown, I think, in that game. I can't remember. Or
Mayer,
yeah,
he might have, yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, they did a good job with him for the most part. And um,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, it's just about execution. Everybody, the mantra has been and probably always will be, do your job. Again, going back to a Belichick, quote, just do your damn job, on defense, and things should work out. Um,
yep,
Again, if the scheme breaks down, that's on the coach. That's on Jim Knowles.
right,
But if
yeah,
people don't execute, there's nothing the coach can do about that.
yep, yeah. But yeah, I'm feeling confident in our defense. I think they can handle it. But Stetson Bennett, he's athletic.
Yeah.
For his size, he's pretty quick. So that's another thing we'll have to worry about. Like Urban Meyer said, it's like an extra man on the field
Mm-hmm.
when you have a dual threat quarterback. So I'm interested to see how we handle that.
Yeah, you think they should shadow him with a linebacker like Tommy or Steele?
Yeah, maybe. Um, or maybe they have like Jack Sawyer. What do they call that? The bullet or something
The
where he
Jack,
stands
yeah,
up. Yeah, Jack. Maybe that. I don't know.
yeah,
Because we run the 4-2-5, so I don't know. Um, I'm not big on the X's and O's stuff, so
that's all good. Yeah, I think I feel good about the defense as a whole, and it'll be interesting to see if they'll come out as aggressive as they did against Michigan. Playing cover
yeah,
zero where you have no safety help deep.
right,
It's basically cover your man or we're screwed. And
right,
I hope he's not quite as aggressive, or maybe um, not in key moments, like on a third. And I think Michigan scored that one on Cam Brown in the first half on like a 3rd and 6, or it was a 3rd and medium to long. And they just ran that little comeback, and the dude broke the tackle and took it to the house. So
yeah,
maybe time and place, maybe 3rd and medium, 3rd and long. It's not the time you need to go cover zero and blitz the house.
yeah. Mix some zone in there and stuff. That.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Drop 7 or 8, make them find
yeah,
a window.
yeah. But I forget what I was gonna say. Um, Go ahead.
Yeah. So let's flip it over to the offense. Let's talk this Buckeye offense against one of the best defenses in the country. Um, I think we're going to run our game. We're not pulling out like brand new trick plays that we haven't run all season. I think you might see a few wrinkles, like uh, variation of stuff that we do, like in the running game, passing game, whatever. But we're not going to suddenly, play a true freshman that's the fastest guy on the team or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
It's going to be our game plan. Run the ball, even though this front four for Georgia is nasty and athletic. But I think it's going to be run the ball and throw the ball a lot. I think I don't see them running a lot of those wide receiver screens that we
Yeah.
just can't seem to block.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like
I
the
hope
most
not.
most
People are
frustrating
people are
play.
getting tired. Yeah.
Yeah,
People are getting tired of those. But
yeah,
yeah. I don't know. Like we were seeming to run through the middle and downhill fairly well. In parts of the regular season when Day would do it. A lot of times we would bounce it outside or the running back would, but Yeah, I mean, our tackles did well, opening up a lane for our running backs there, but I don't know about it against Jalen Carter,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, that we need to get the run game going a little bit at least, you know.
Yeah.
But as for Stroud, I mean, I don't think that we're gonna have designed run plays for him in the game, but I hope they told him, hey, if it's there, you need to take it. Like, you know, that there's like nobody there and he's got 10 yards he could pick up on the ground real quick. But I don't think they'll design plays for him to run now. But he's
Yeah.
going to have to be on point like he was in the Rose Bowl. That was some of the most amazing passes I've ever seen. You
Yeah.
know, um, so he needs
Right.
to be on point like he was in that game, and it's indoors, so that's even better. You know,
Exactly. I
uh,
think this is the first game they've played indoors as with Stroud as a starter. So in 2 seasons, because
oh
they didn't
yeah,
didn't play in Indianapolis the last two
yeah,
years, and that's the only other dome.
yeah, yeah. I didn't think about that, and somebody brought it up. And I'm like, oh yeah, because Stroud being from California,
Hmm.
he probably hates the cold, honestly. And
Yep.
people think because it's the Buckeyes and we're up north, that we're gonna be okay in the cold and the snow. But these kids come from all parts of the country, like Florida and
Hmm.
California. They're not used to that type of cold, and
Yeah.
so. But I'm not trying to make excuses for when they have played in bad weather, except for Northwestern this year. That
Yeah.
was nuts.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. So yeah, I think the fast track helps us. You know.
yeah, yeah, definitely. That's exciting too.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, I really like our wide receivers matched up against these corners. Their starting safety, Chris Smith, is probably one of the best in the country. He's Mr. Reliable back there. He's kind of that angel in the outfield. The kind of Jordan Fuller, if you remember him from a few
Mhm.
years ago, that guy that nobody got past. Even if it was a busted play, he made the stop. And so I think these corners for Georgia are you can get them, especially Ringo. He's playing a little overweight right now, I'm hearing, and he looked a little lost against LSU. And these contested catches, I went back and looked at some of these tighter games Georgia played this year, and in the case of targets to catches, like Kentucky, for example, here, they came down with the ball more often than not. And these are guys, freaking Kentucky's receivers, dude. It's not like these are all Americans.
Right.
Barry and Brown, never even heard of this guy. This guy for Kentucky had 11 targets, 10 catches for a buck 45 and a touchdown. Again, and Will Levis is his quarterback. That guy's
Mhm.
nothing special. Um,
Right.
some other guys, 2 targets, 2 catches, 3 targets, 2 catches. Going to the Florida game where Anthony Richardson, another just a guy, just another quarterback guy, with not a great arm. He had his number one target, Xavier Henderson, 6 targets, 5 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown. Uh, Another guy here, 6 targets, 3 catches. And over here in the Tennessee game, Cedric Tillman, 7 targets, 7 catches. Jalen Hyatt, 8 targets, 6 catches. Uh, Another dude, 3 targets, 3 catches. So my point is, when these guys are covered, the corners are not getting knocking down balls. You know what I'm saying? Like these contested throws are getting completed, and that's
Mhm.
not good when you're going against our our receivers, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. Like Marvin Harrison, he only has one drop this entire season.
Yeah,
That's crazy. I've never heard
yeah,
of that before.
yeah,
Wide receiver having even the Blitnikoff winner, he had multiple drops this season, and so
yeah.
yeah. But do you remember what team it was? The highest ranked defense that Georgia played? Do you remember what team it was?
Ooh.
because I'd be
I'd have to
interested to
check.
see um what what the score was in that game.
I have to go back and check.
It's okay. You can't find it.
Tennessee, maybe. I don't know. LSU. I'd have to check that. But yeah, I mean, even playing an SEC schedule, you'd think they would have gone up against more than one tough
Right,
defense, right? I mean,
right. Yeah. Yeah, everybody's going air raid now. Not really
right.
worrying about defense anymore. Um, but except Kirby Smart, I like how he approaches the game as well. Um, so
Yeah.
be interesting. Not a lot of teams go back to back um very often, unless you're Nick Saban, but it's
Yeah.
rare for a team to win it back to back, so
You ever wonder if Alabama Twitter is melting down like Ohio State Twitter does?
oh, I bet. I
Yeah.
remember in 2019 when they didn't make it, everybody was saying fire Nick Saban. You guys are crazy,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Fire Nick Saban.
People
No
love to
way, man.
fire people love to fire as a head coach. Then who are you going to bring in that's better?
Right.
Like if
Yeah.
we fire Ryan Day tomorrow, who are you going to bring in?
Urban Meyer. Everybody say
Yeah,
Urban
of
Meyer.
course. Yeah.
They always, that's the first guy that everybody brings up when there's an opening, like Nebraska and Wisconsin. Like, no, I don't
Yeah.
think he's going anywhere else.
No. Why would he? For what,
Right.
man? I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta, as a college coach, you gotta work 24/7, 365, man. Recruiting, coaching,
Right.
game planning. There's no time off. At least in the NFL, you get like a few months off over the summer.
Right. Yeah. I don't know how they do it, especially Ryan Day. And it's so dumb that they pack all that stuff together in December, the
Yeah.
award season and then the early signing period. So the coaches are running around the country
Yeah.
I thought about maybe Brian Hartline doesn't want to be a head coach because of those reasons. He
Mm-hmm.
might just I mean, I'm sure he's out on the recruiting trail quite a bit. Um,
Yeah.
but maybe not as much as the head coach would be. But
Yeah. Yeah. And everybody was out on the trail for, December, and they got an extra week to work on the trail because they didn't go to the championship game.
yeah,
So yeah, but
but it
you're
didn't
right
work
about
out too well.
no, unfortunately. I think they would have rather been in Indianapolis. But you're right about the early signing period being on last Wednesday. Then you got the transfer portal window was open, and dudes are hopping in and out of there. And then you got what else? You got you do have a playoff game to prepare for. There's that.
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
The most important part.
exactly, and people forget about all that.
Yeah. And then the Peach Bowl's doing all these games during the week between Ohio State and Georgia. And the other night they played a basketball game against each other. Like
Yeah,
how stupid are you? You're gonna, you get injured in a basketball game, and then they
right.
had like a dance off, I guess, or something. So, but
Yeah,
I was like, man, it's like, oh, can't play. I got injured in a dance off or playing basketball.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't well
So,
thought out.
yeah.
Yeah. I got to talk to my guy Gary at the Peach Bowl, the CEO. Tell
Oh,
him
is he the director of the media? All that.
he's the CEO of the Peach Bowl. He's like, just a figurehead, like a CEO of a company. But
Oh, you're gonna interview him?
we interviewed him like a month ago, and
Oh,
we were
yeah.
supposed to have him last week, but it didn't work out for us. But he's a pretty easygoing guy. But I would definitely, if I had known all these silly events they were having, he told me they were doing like stuff in the evening to have the players compete, and like they did like a Family Feud style game show, shit like that. And I'm like, if I would have known they were going to be playing basketball, I definitely would have pushed back on that.
Yeah.
No, Gary,
Yeah.
not a good idea, bud.
Right. Yeah. If I was the coach, I'd be like, no, we're
Right,
not doing that.
right.
But
So as we kind of wind down here, what do you think? You want to throw some score predictions out here? Give me your kind of game plan for a Buckeye victory.
Yeah. Um, Again, like I said, I think we're gonna have to get the run game going a bit. But I think the most important part in this game is going to be just a high level execution and concentrate on the fundamentals. And but yeah, I think game plan is get the run game going a little bit and get the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. Like I said, only one drop. I mean, he catches everything. I mean, like the Houdini catch he had where he grew an extra leg or whatever
Yeah.
and got in and yeah, but yeah, I think that's the key there. I again, I don't think Stroud is really going to run. They were designed runs. I would love to see one or two, just to keep him honest. But yeah, I mean, if it's there, he should just take it. Um, but I my score, I've been going with 34-31, Buckeyes.
Hmm.
Just a 3-point win.
Yeah.
Um, but
You think it's a field goal late?
what's that?
You think it's a field goal late by Noah Ruggles to win it, or you think it's Buckeye defense getting a stop to seal it?
Um, I would I'm going to go with the defense getting a stop. That would be great to see. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm going into this game with the same feeling I had in 2014. I wasn't very confident. But I'm believing they're going to win. Hope you can't hear my kids.
No, I don't hear anything.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's good.
so 34-31, you got the Buckeyes, the defense keeping Georgia out of the end zone to end the game. I like that with time winding down. I'm going 41-34. I think the Buckeyes need to get to 40 points. And Ryan Day has said that. And he said that in the playoffs, you got to get to 40 points. And I think the higher the score of the game, the more that helps the Buckeyes because I think they can score. I know this is a tough defense, but I think the more scoring that's involved, the Buckeyes have the advantage there. If two defenses can't stop either offense, I'll take the Buckeyes all day on that.
Or-
But yeah, I think 41-34 Buckeyes win by a touchdown. And I agree the defense is going to have to keep Georgia out of the end zone to seal the game late in the fourth quarter. So, and I think CJ does enough, to in the throwing game to get the victory. The running game is going to be, tough sledding. I don't see us running for more than $150, 150 yards.
that was my thought. Get over $150 at least. Yeah.
Yeah. Both teams average about 200 yards a game on the ground, but I don't think either one's going to hit that mark,
Yeah. 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 That
So,
makes sense. Who's your player of the game, like the MVP?
ooh, I want to say CJ because he's been under fire, for like 2 years. It seems like people calling him soft, and some of it's legit just because he won't take off and run, but that's not his game. But I would love to see CJ. This is more of a heart than a head, using my heart more than my brain. I would like to see CJ get the MVP because I think it would shut a lot of people up, and obviously it puts us in line to play Michigan for the national title, most likely, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to see that too. Stroud, prove people wrong and finally win, something of significance. But yeah, like I didn't think after Dwayne Haskins we would see a better passer than Dwayne Haskins and Stroud.
Yeah.
It's like some of the balls he throws are just ridiculous. And
Yeah.
um, but I'm going with an odd MVP. I'm going to go with Zach Harrison.
Oh,
I think
nice.
he's gonna be a leader, step up, and because he showed that to end the Maryland game, he he had those 2 pressures. I think he had the strip sack on the one.
Yep.
But I'm like, where's that? Every down. I know that they get tired and winded, but yeah, I think we'll see a big game out of him, hopefully. So
Yeah, I like it. I like a defensive guy getting the MVP. That'd be pretty sweet.
yeah,
I mean, Eichenberg had a hell of a game in the Rose Bowl last year. He's another guy you could look to. He's going to be might be the most important player on the field for the Buckeye defense, honestly. But
yeah.
what kind of production he has is the question. Does he get blocked up? Is he missing assignments? He doesn't usually miss gaps. So yeah, we'll see. But Frank, before we go, I want you to let everybody know where they can find you on Twitter and where they can find you on YouTube and any other platforms you want to share.
Oh yeah, sure. I appreciate it. You can find me on YouTube at youtube.com at symbol Buckeye Productions. You can find me on Twitter. What is my Twitter handle? I don't even remember. I
Frank
believe
D
it's
Frank D
underscore.
underscore 419.
Yeah, at 419. Just my 419 brother.
That's right. We got to stick
Yeah. By the
together.
way, I wanted to personally thank you in person. Joe helped me out last year where I was going through a rough time, and yeah, Joe's got a big heart, and I appreciate you.
No problem, man. We got to stick together and take care of each other. I always try to give back to my 419 folks, and yeah, I wish I could do more sometimes, But
Is Tiffin there? Is that in Huron County? Or is
Seneca.
that Seneca? Seneca? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right north of me right there. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. Up there east of Findlay and south of Fremont.
Yeah. Yeah, just north of me there.
Yeah. But yeah, Frank, I really appreciate you joining the show, and let's go Bucks. Let's
Go Bucks, man.
beat some dogs. That doesn't sound
Beat
good.
some dog ass.
Don't beat the dogs like in real life. Just
Yeah, no. Be
bulldogs.
kind to your dogs.
Right.
All
All
right,
right,
Joe.
Frank. I appreciate you. I'll see you on Twitter and YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. If you ever want to have me on again, let me know.
You got it.
All right, man.
All right.
Talk to you later.
Yeah. Take care.